Getting to know someone is a straightforward process. Isn't it? Hi everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Dr. Sherry, expert in social and personality psychology, and here at my channel we talk about all sorts of different fun psychology-related topics, from personality psychology to relationships to self-improvement to well-being, and so on and so forth. If it's something that sounds like fun to me and it's within the world of psychology, we're probably going to talk about it at some point here on my channel, so welcome. Now, person perception, or the ways that we perceive other people, is a topic that is near and dear to my heart, as it's what I studied in graduate school. And what's so awesome about it is that it relates to every single human on this planet, because we are always perceiving other people, whether it's in person or over text message or on the television. Human creatures are social by nature. It's natural for us to want to be able to interact well with others, but in order to do that, we need to get to know the people first. And that can kind of be easier said than done. Some people are naturals. They just have 100 friends, 1,000 friends, and becoming acquainted with someone and really getting to know them just isn't tricky. But if that's you, you're probably not watching this video. For many of us, getting to know someone really well is difficult. It's really not that straightforward. Maybe we're just really busy. Our work life, our home life has preoccupied all of our time, and getting to know other people just takes too much work. Maybe we know a lot of people, but we just struggle to get to know someone in depth because we just don't know the right things to say. We don't know the right questions to ask. Maybe you're one of those people where interpreting social cues is just more difficult and it's just a mystery to you. Whatever the reason, I have some tips from psychology to help you get to know somebody better. Number 1, pay attention. I know this seems kind of obvious, but I have to say it because it is so incredibly important. If you are not paying attention to what somebody says, their body language, their emotions, you're not really going to know this person, because you're not going to remember anything that they said or did. And then making connections in the future with things that they do later on is going to be impossible because you just can't remember what they did. We as people also tend to like it when other people remember things about us. I don't know about you, but when my husband forgets things that I have said or done that I expect him to remember, it gets a little bit frustrating. So just paying attention and remembering things about a person can go a long way. So make sure you're paying attention to things that they say. That's first and foremost. What is coming out of their mouth? What are they telling you about themselves? But also pay attention to other things like their emotions. What sort of expressions are they giving you? How are they reacting emotionally in various types of situations? Because not everybody responds the same way in different situations, and that can tell you something about a person. And also make sure you're paying attention to people's behavior, because believe it or not, actions oftentimes speak louder than words. What people say about themselves does not always match up with their actual behaviors. Some people don't really know themselves all that well, so what they're telling you might not be the best information, but their behaviors could tell you a whole lot, especially if what they say and what they do are not matching up. Now, it's not just going to be enough to focus on one of these things. You got to try to focus on them all and then take them all into account when you're building the pieces of who this person is. The more you interact with someone, the more information you have, the easier this is going to become over time. My second tip for you is to ask them questions about themselves. Asking questions is great for 2 main reasons. First off, it shows that you're interested in this person. And as long as this person likes you, and they also have an interest in getting to know you, chances are they're going to respond positively to this notion that you also want to get to know them. Secondly, it will let you get information about someone far faster than just waiting for certain things to come up in conversation. There are some topics that just pretty much naturally will not come up in a conversation. You have to do something to make those topics come up. Now, please be careful with this one, because I am not suggesting that you should go up to someone and start peppering them incessantly with random or inappropriate questions. Pick your questions wisely. Be considerate of what you already know about this person. Think about what sort of question would they be open to answering if I were to ask it right now, and also consider the situation that you're in. Is it the right time to ask this question? For example, if you are on a first date, asking about really personal things about a person might not be so appropriate. You kind of want to get to know someone a little bit more slowly than that. But asking about someone's hobbies or their family life or their values, things like that, could be perfect topics for a first date. But you don't want to make someone uncomfortable with really inappropriate or rude questions. But just realize that most of the time you're going to need to get to know someone a bit better. You're going to need to get closer to them before they're going to be responsive to certain types of questions. And even then, there's going to be individual differences, so not everyone is going to love the idea of answering super personal questions about themselves. So just take it slow and read the person. My third tip for you is to go out and do something with this person. Believe it or not, if you only see a person in one type of situation, you don't actually really know that person very well at all. So let's say that you're trying to get to know someone at work, but you've only ever seen this person in work-related situations. Well, as you might realize, this is kind of a problem if you really want to get to know this person. So go out and do something with this person. Go to a restaurant with them and maybe a bunch of other friends at the same time, or maybe watch a football game at your house, or join a knitting club with them, or join a book club, whatever it might be. Find a way to interact with that person in more than one type of situation, because people act differently in different situations. The person who you are at work is probably not the person that you are at home when you're just relaxing by yourself, or at big family get-togethers, or when you're with your friends, or when you're with your kids. The more types of situations that you can see someone in, the faster you're going to get to see different sides of them, different nuances to this person, and therefore, the more you're going to get to know about them. Also try to get to know them on both the group level, so when other people are around, and also on the individual level, so one-on-one, because this can also evoke different types of social cues that you might not otherwise see. My fourth tip for you is to remember that how a person sees themselves is not the be-all and end-all. Yes, it is helpful to ask a person questions about themselves, to listen to what they say, and so on and so forth, to learn more about them, but it's not the whole story. Why is this? Well, it's because our own perceptions of ourselves are inherently biased. When we try to make perceptions of ourselves, generally speaking, we make perceptions in a positive direction. So most people want to see themselves in a more positive light. They kind of put a positive skew on things because we have this thing called an ego, and generally speaking, people like to protect that. Even in psychology, when we are evaluating personality, if we really want to do it right, we never just ask a person about their own personality. We're asking other people who know the person well about that person's personality. We're doing objective behavioral analyses if you really want to take it one step further. If it's possible to do so, you always want to go beyond just what the person says. So when you're getting to know someone, just realize that just because a person says something about themselves or they perceive themselves in a certain way does not mean that that is going to be the perception that you make about that person. You might learn things about that person that they do not know about themselves, and that is okay, and that is to be expected. My fifth and final tip for you today is to remember that it's a give and take. If you're interested in getting to know someone, then hopefully, I hope that they are also interested in getting to know you right back. So if you're a closed book, if you're not willing to share anything about yourself and you're completely closed off, you're not going to be very successful. You have to share things with someone so that they feel comfortable getting to know you and then opening up about themselves. If you are open to sharing and you show that, hey, I want you to get to know me just as much as I want to get to know you, the person's going to be a lot more likely to reciprocate. So relax, be yourself as much as you can, try to be approachable and considerate of this person, and they're going to be a lot more likely to open up to you. Now, as a quick bonus tip here, a little asterisk on this video, just know that not all people are going to be equally easy to get to know. Some people are just very open, gregarious people who will give you their life story on a platter within 5 minutes of you meeting them. But other people tend to be a bit more quiet, more reserved, and it's just going to take more work. It's going to take getting to know them for longer before they open up to you. So it's really not a one-size-fits-all situation. These tips will help, but you do need to consider the type of person that you're dealing with as well. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe for more fun, weekly, psychology-related content, and next, make sure to check out this video that I made a while back on how well you can really know someone. So once you start using these tips and tricks that I mentioned, can you get to know someone inside and out? Can you ever get to the truth of who they really are?